Okay, so the Brexit deal is now ready to be analysed and scrutinised, and it has been. I've got two parts to this that I want to get to. First off, going through the basics of this particular deal, and then I want to go into commentary that I've seen other people give for it. So first off, this deal, what do we get? Nothing, really. That's it. As someone who voted to stay in the European Union, this is pathetic, and it's going to do more damage for the UK in the long run, because essentially what we've got is what we've had, but now we've lost our voice. So I mean, when it comes to trade deals, we're still going to have to go through the European Union to have deals with everyone else. So we can't necessarily have our direct deal with Canada, because we've still got to go through the European Union. The European Union still have got to approve everything. So that's annoying. That's not what people voted for, but that's what Theresa May and her government have done for the last 2 years. That's the best that they could come up with. We still have the EU determining what we can do with policies and general laws. Specific laws is not the EU, and I have to make that clear, because I constantly hear that the EU determine our laws and we don't vote for them, so people we don't vote for determine our laws. That's not technically true. It gets a little bit convoluted, but that's not technically true. But we should have the ability to decide where we get things like our pharmaceuticals. If we can prove that a certain drug is better for certain symptoms, certain conditions, we should be able to use it without the European Union stepping in and saying, no, you got to go through this way, even though it's more expensive, or just flat out no for whatever reason. So that's something that we should have control over, but we don't. It's something that we could have control over, but again, because of this deal, no, we don't. When it comes to general policies like the Human Rights Act, I'm all for keeping that. Quite frankly, if you vote for the Conservatives, I think you're dim, because they have constantly said that they want to get rid of human rights. At any point, if any politician ever says they want to get rid of human rights, do not vote for them. Do not give them the time of day, because they are clearly a disgusting human being. The human rights may need a little bit of amending, but it does not need to be got rid of, and it certainly doesn't need replacing with the monstrous policies and rights that the Conservatives would force on this country. And I say that because I've actually been paying attention to what they've been doing for the last 8 years. At every single turn, the Conservatives have shown nothing but disdain and disgust for everyone who doesn't make £1 million a year. It's that simple when you look at what Ian Duncan Smith and Esther McVey have done to people on welfare. It's disgusting, it's obscene, and I don't know how they haven't been lynched. I'm not calling for violence in any way, shape or form, but how many people must someone murder before something's actually done? And that's what Esther McVey and Ian Duncan Smith have done. They have forced people into suicide. They have forced people out on the streets where they have died. They have forced children into poverty. They have made life so unbearably difficult when there was no need to, and they laugh about it while they spend £7-8 on a damn fry-up saying everyone should have it, when most people on benefits struggle to pay the rent, let alone put food on the damn table. So yeah, keeping the EU human rights is something I'm very much in favour for. But the worst part of this is we've lost our voice. Now, this is slightly going on to the commentary of things. The biggest criticism I heard, and still hear, about the European Union is that we didn't get saying anything. That is absolutely a lie. The issue is we kept sending over morons and lazy SOBs like Nigel Farage, who didn't want to do the job He just wanted to get paid. We had a voice, and we chose to send incompetent buffoons over who didn't use that voice. The EU could have worked for Britain fantastically. We could have been the king of the world. Maybe not that far, but we could have had a much, much better deal, much, much better relationship, and a huge payoff from the EU. But we kept sending over people who weren't interested. We kept sending over multi-millionaires who didn't give a flying you-know-what about the common people. Nigel Farage had the opportunity to protect a lot of workers in the UK. Instead, he went to one meeting, got paid, and did it. That's it. Didn't go to any others, didn't bother standing up and saying, look, no, this deal really doesn't work for Britain, which he could have done, which would have given us a better deal. But no, they didn't. And that's why the European Union didn't work for us. That was the voice that we had, but now we won't. So the commentary that I've seen, it varies on people that have commented on this, really. Some saying that they're losing faith in Theresa May and the Conservative government. I'm sorry, but did you have faith in them in the beginning? Like the last 2 years, we've had a general election, and you still chose Theresa May. You still chose the government that have proven time and time again they don't actually want to do the hard work, they don't actually serve the people, and they very, very much are in favour of plutocracy, not a democracy. They only care about serving the wealthy. If you actually think that Theresa May cares about the people, then you've not been paying attention. That should be made evidently clear by her spending £5 million so that Donald Trump can play golf here, rather than actually giving school children meals. So that's my criticism of some of the commentary, and other bits coming through saying that this is just a worse deal and that they've not been taking this seriously for the last 2 years. And no, I don't think they have. But it's not because I don't think that they don't think this was inevitability. We all knew this day was coming, but they're so incompetent at their jobs because they're only used to serving the wealthy. So this is what this boils down to. Support the politicians who actually care about the people. Now, there's not much we can do with this Brexit deal. I would say campaign, go online, push forward and tell Theresa May that this just isn't good enough, but I don't know if that will actually work because she is painfully ignorant to the suffering and the voice of the country. That's made perfectly clear by this pathetic excuse of a Brexit deal. We are facing something that is so harmful to the UK, and I don't want to see the UK fail because I still live in the bloody UK. I want this country to succeed. The government and certainly this Brexit deal, I just don't see that happening.